Hi, and welcome to another exciting episode. I'm your host, Brad Poirier, with the Wellness of Being. It's never easy being in pain, and especially constant pain, when nobody can actually see your pain. They probably think that you're faking it or there's nothing wrong with you. Well, our guest today, Molly, is going to share her story and what she's come to know about sickle cell. Welcome, Molly.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Great. So let's just get right into it. Give us a little bit about your background and how the sickle cell for you kind of started.
Well, sickle cell is hereditary, so you have to be born with it. You can't catch it. You can't, you do pass it on. So both of my parents supposedly had the trait, what we call the trait. So each person has a negative and positive trait, the sickle cell gene. So hence I was born with the disease. So when I was, as far as I know, I was diagnosed with rheumatic fever.
Oh, okay.
Until I was about 10 when I came to Canada and I needed to have my tonsils out.
Oh.
And they sent me to Sick Kids, and Sick Kids did the blood work and came back and said, no, she doesn't have rheumatic fever. She has something called sickle cell anemia, which took my mom by surprise because in those days, and even in today's date, everybody thinks that sickle cell is primarily a black disease. And obviously, I'm not.
And it can affect anyone, obviously.
Exactly. Well, you're passing it on.
Yes.
So if I mated with you then, there would be a chance because I have the disease that I would have a chance.
So genetically it would carry,
1
it
in
would
5.
carry down.
Yeah,
oh,
25%.
Wow. That's pretty high.
Yeah. So after she found out that it was the constant pain, and we get called junkies, and because we need pain. If I say to you, Brad, right now, I'm in a lot of pain, you would look at me and say, no, you look fine.
Yeah, of course. You're sitting here right now.
That's right.
You look exactly
But just before
fine,
I came on, I had to take my pain medicine just to keep everything in check and
just to kind of
not fall apart. Well, on a scale pain measurement, we say that women given childbirth, natural childbirth, is the most painful situation. Yeah. Well, we've had what we call ourselves sicklers. We've had people who have natural childbirth with sickle cell. They said, no, give me childbirth any day.
Over sickle cell?
Yes.
Wow, and so that must be incredibly painful.
It is, and the same with terminal cancer. We have cancer patients, we have sicklers who end up with cancer. Same thing. So sickle cell, and the amount of narcotics we have to take is unbelievable, right?
And is that the only thing, a narcotic is the only thing that kind of will help take the edge off?
Well, we have a protocol,
does it completely, even a narcotic, does it just kind of take the edge off, or does it take 100% of the pain away?
I would say back in the day, up as far as maybe 8 years ago, I was on Demerol and things like that. That wasn't really a good painkiller for the average person like us, because it was very addictive. So they've come up with giving us the Dilaudid or hydromorphine, which is usually given to severe cancer patients, like terminal cancer patients. And that's because they never thought we were going to live very long. Like our life expectancy, my mom was told from I was 10. She's lucky if she makes it to 15.
Wow.
Then it was to 20. Then it was to 30. And now because they have a drug called hydroxyurea that they're giving children, it's a cancer drug. But all that does is try and reduce some of the sickle attacks that we have, right? So the older sicklers like myself, 18 and over, tend to have daily pain episodes.
I see.
And with that, you're always in pain. So we try and bear the pain up to a 5, and then after we have a protocol. So you set a protocol for yourself, and you take your medicine.
Yes.
And with me, it's like I'm allowed to have my pills every 2 hours. And after 6 hours, if it doesn't help, I know there's only one place I need to go. And when you get there, they're going to draw blood.
Yes.
They're going to give you fluids because we are very dehydrated.
I see. Yes.
And give you the pain medicine, and it has to run its course. But we are prone to infections. So, I don't know, from the time we met, you know, I'm not a type of person that likes to hug, kiss, shake hands. No. I'm very standoffish that way, and it's more or less to protect myself.
Of course, and especially with a compromised immune system. I mean, and probably anytime, like each season probably carries its own, even the fall winter season, or any time when a lot of people are coughing, sneezing, things like that, and a lot of that stuff is airborne. And for you, you know, it must be much more difficult to fight off, and you don't want to have to take any additional meds to kind of, you know, sort of thing. Is there any kind of support system or anything that you do to build your immune system a little bit stronger?
We try. Some of us do homeopathic medicine, juices and things, as you know. Yes. And different things, yoga, it has helped, Awesome. Some of us have gotten into yoga, acupuncture, we here in the States, it helped. But things like acupuncture here is very expensive, it's not covered. And so things that we try homeopathically, you have to have the money. And be truthful, I mean, growing up, I was told I would only have a secondary education.
I see.
And you know, you're not going to worth to math. Nobody wants to marry someone.
And a lot of times you're giving a diagnosis. I mean, she's lucky if she makes it past 15 years old. You know, and that must be devastating even for a parent to hear that your kid and the life expectancy itself. So when you were diagnosed, did they have a lot of research and stuff behind sickle cell?
No, and that's the whole thing, because it was a stigma, number one. People with sickle cell didn't talk about it.
Okay.
And I have to say I was one of the first. When we were going for newborn screening in 2005, they asked for people with sickle cell to come forward and help to get the word out, and nobody showed up. I was the only one. So I took on the MPs and everyone, and we finally got newborn screening passed. And then it's just in the last 2 years we got all the provinces covered. So now a woman who's having a baby, when she does her maternal care and stuff, is automatically tested for sickle cell.
Oh, perfect.
Because about 6 years ago, the HMO came forward and said that sickle cell is at epidemic proportions right now. So, I mean, you could have it and not know, because when you have the trait, it lays dormant. Like, it doesn't really, so it from what we know.
Yeah, it can stay in your genetic makeup, but you don't have a lot of the signs. What are some of the, so with someone living with sickle cell, what are some of the things they experience on a daily, besides pain, like on a daily basis?
Well, we want to be normal, number one. But then we also have the normal things that happen to normal people.
Yes.
Like for me right now, I have what's called a double scoliosis.
Okay.
Which is curvature of the spine, not once but twice.
Wow. Okay.
And I have 3 discs missing. So my spine is compressing on my lower spine.
Yes.
So I have that pain that is different from my sickle cell pain.
Yes.
It is hard to stand or walk for any length of period. And on top of that, I have restless leg syndrome.
Okay, so when you sleep, then you're
I'm kicking my legs about, and
and it's just moving
so
naturally.
it's more medication to control that.
Okay,
and then on top of that, I have recently going through a lot of emotional stuff. So there's a psychosocial issue to deal with, because anything can bring on a crisis. I don't have to get up and do something to bring it on.
No,
it could wake me up, actually.
And then you're there, and
I'm in an attack, right?
Okay.
So it's like, you know, we call it an invisible disease, because, like I said, if I tell you I'm in pain, you can't see it.
No, right now you look perfectly healthy. You're a vibrant, you know, young woman, and that sort of thing. So and I think that's what a lot of people don't get. So, I mean, going back to vibrancy, does sickle cell have an effect on your energy levels?
Oh yeah, definitely, because it's to explain what it is. It's your blood cells are like a red donut shape.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, and it is like the oxygen is sucked out of that. So hence it goes into a sickle shape, and that's how it got its name, the shape of a sickle.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
So when that happens, your blood vessels, your blood cells can't pass through one another. So they tend to log jam and clot. And when that process starts, you're now in a crisis.
Okay,
right?
Yes.
So, 2 of the worst crises that the sickler has, and I'm sorry for those who don't like being called sicklers, but I don't mind it. People with SCD, is that you know, when the crisis start, we all have this illness, but it's affected us differently, and we manage it slightly different from one another. So for me, when I go into hospital, I might be at the highest level of medication versus someone who might be doing yoga and doing something else and is on 2 milligrams, and that works for him or her. And I've tried that. I've done the yoga, I've done the meditation, the biofeedback. So I've tried to implement everything. Even in today, I just, you know, learn about new things I'm willing to try. So mentally, I think it's where your mind is mentally too. If you can keep your mind busy and active, right? And when you're in happy mode here and not emotionally unbalanced or out, you tend to survive a little bit better.
Yeah, because you tend to forget about it, or if you're watching a movie, you get into the movie, and then it's kind of, it's going to take me out of my body for a minute, and now I'm watching their story instead of just concentrating on, you know, what's happening to me now and things like that. But as far as energy, what would be a good day for you? Like as far as having energy? So
like today
you're
I
feeling
get up
better?
and I'm looking forward to doing this, and I probably by the time I get home I will be
your
just
body will
so
be feeling it, and you're ready to rest and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I have to like start my protocol right away. So lots of fluids and rest, and if I don't do that, I'm not gonna see tomorrow. I'm gonna be in bed for the next 5 or 6 days. So it all depends. If I want to do something really important, I try and save my energy. But no matter how I did, as you know, with a friend of mine, you know, we were ready to come, and all of a sudden he had an attack. So it all depends on the person and how, you know, like yoga works for some, but biofeedback, meditation. But when it's like this, you can do that up to a point. After that point, if it doesn't work, there's only one place to go. And even when you go, you know, I mean, like in the last 2 years, I've had to have a hip replacement because the sickle cell contributes to something called avascular neurosis. And that is where the hip, the bone, is eaten away. So I just had a total right hip replacement, which is great. I mean, I'm just, you know, it's fresh still.
At least
a year
it's
and
better,
a half.
and you gotta adjust and let it kind of reform and stuff. But the deterioration is from the sickle cell?
Yes. So even if I pass away right now, they will never say I died from sickle cell.
I see.
They will say due to sickle cell complications, right? So because it's every organ. If you don't have the oxygen to the red blood cells, it's going to affect every organ.
Of course, because the blood through,
Exactly, sorry. Most people with SCD, when they're born, don't usually have a spleen. The spleen is like a prune. I was lucky, and I still had my spleen. So therefore, I just had it removed last year.
I see.
Which is a big thing because my mom didn't believe in vaccinations. And as a child, I didn't get them. And believe it or not, I survived very well so far until I needed to have the spleen out. Because it became very enlarged, the size of a football. And even the surgeons were trying to figure out how are we going to take it out without, you know, gutting me really.
That's right,
And they came up with the way of doing 5 holes, and they went in and they emulsify it and bring it out as a liquid. So those 2 surgeries had put me down. So, like, I'm an energetic person. I like to play golf. I like to do all the normal things, you know. And so when it comes time to be sick, you're sick. And it has stopped a lot of my aspirations. I wanted to be a ballerina. I wanted to be a ballroom dancer. And every time I got right there, it would kick in, and I would get sick.
And I think that's the thing, because to me right now, you look perfectly fine. You look very vibrant. You know what I mean? You look very youthful. But I guess there's that other side that a lot of people don't see. The part when you're tired, when you're in pain, that they think, wow, Molly is just this all-around wonderful woman. But then they don't see the other side that sickle cell takes on you, where yes, you're smiley, you're happy, and then all of a sudden you're at home and you're exhausted, and you've had a day where it's been not so great, and I know there's probably some other things that happen, like just normal life. You know, you probably, I would imagine, do the seasons affect you? The heat, the cold, or not so much?
For the average person with sickle cell, summer is supposed to be the best time.
Okay.
Because it keeps them warm and the joints warm, right?
Yeah.
For me, I notice even though I come from a hot island, I tend to survive better in the winter.
Oh, okay.
So for summer, I have what we call acute chest syndrome, which is one of the most dangerous crisis that we can have, and that's when it affects the lungs, and you have a problem breathing, obviously. So, and it's more painful because it hurts to take a breath in.
So would it be tight? So everything tightens up?
Oh, it's a sharp pain. Yeah, it's tightened, and everybody, it's like, everything feels tight, and if you take a breath in, it hurts. If you take a breath out, it hurts. So you go to panting, like you, and now when you start to do that, you bring on the back crisis. So you get this pounding effect.
Yeah. So you're here, and then you're here, and then it just kind of everything
spreads everywhere, you know, if you're not lucky. I mean, if you're lucky, just stays there.
True. And obviously, if you can keep your mental state balanced, that's a thing too, because you don't want to go then into anxiety, and now your mind, your body, everything is freaking out, and things like that as well. What are some of the other kind of common things that can happen that people don't know about that may take you to, you know, to emerge, or things like that?
Anything. Anything at all. I'm menopausing, you know, and that will trigger a crisis. I get into an argument, it doesn't take anything.
Yeah, because your emotions are just kind of out of whack, or of course, if you have to say a few words and things like that, emotionally, they're emotionally charged, and that sort of thing, you know, as well. So with that, so basically, genetically, you can have this from birth just through passing down through the genes and stuff like that. So have they extended now the life expectancy from 15? Well, obviously you're an example.
Well, now they say they have a cure.
Oh, okay.
Right, but here's the cure. It's like 20 years ago, the cure is bone marrow transplant.
I see.
Okay. 20 years ago, the mortality rate was too high because they would do like 20 people and only one would survive. And it was a young child.
Yes.
But now they have perfected the technique. But in the States, you have to be rich to do that.
Yes, very much so.
We haven't heard of a case in Canada as yet, and I don't know if our system would cover it, but that's, you know, something to try. Then again, and this only works if you have a sibling.
Oh, of course. Yeah, right? So they can take the same
in my case,
genetic makeup.
I have 5 other siblings, but they're from different fathers. Right? So it's very unlikely I'm going to find a match.
Yeah, and something from them.
Right.
Yeah, it's really been fascinating today. Our time just flew, Molly. You're so knowledgeable. You have, you know, so much to give, and I think just awareness for people that haven't heard of sickle cell before. So I want to say thank you for coming, and I want to thank everybody for watching this segment. Up next, we have Christine, who's going to have some food tips for you, and we'll see you after the break. Hi and welcome back. I'm Brad Poirier, the host of The Wellness of Being. So we're back here with Christine Peacock, culinary nutrition expert, and does she have something for you? It's the Optimal Health Challenge. Welcome, Christine.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks for having me back. So today I wanted to share with you a little bit about what culinary nutrition is. So I like to describe culinary nutrition as the art of cooking meets the science of nutrition. So what I do is I help my clients see how, and I educate them on how to cook with the healing properties of food. So while we have nutrition on the one side, which is very science heavy, and then we have a chef on the other side who deals with the richness of food and creating beautiful foods, I try to marry those two together. So I look at healthy food, the benefits of healthy cooking, and what I wanted to share with the audience today was my Optimal Health Challenge,
Perfect.
which is 7 daily habits for healthy living.
I don't know if they can last a week.
Yeah,
What do
well,
you think?
they are simple strategies that you can incorporate into your everyday life. And I've had a lot of clients say that it's been a really great kickstart to just help them find some more balance and start adopting a healthy lifestyle.
Perfect. So let's begin.
Yes. So I wanted to start with first thing in the morning.
Okay, sure.
So the first healthy habit I want to share is a glass of lemon water first thing in the morning. So on an empty stomach, you want to squeeze up to about half a lemon into a glass of room temperature water, not cold. It could be hot water or room temperature. And drinking lemon water first thing in the morning helps with digestion.
Oh, perfect.
So it gets your metabolism kick-started. It helps the liver detoxify because you've just fasted overnight.
Yes.
So the lemon water will help to aid the liver in detoxification. The vitamin C in lemon water helps with the immune system.
Oh, perfect.
Especially this time of year where the seasons are changing, kids are back at school and in daycare. We want to get our immune system rebooted.
Definitely boosted, yes.
It's great for your skincare as well because you're detoxifying the liver. It's also going to help detoxify your blood and your skin. So your skin's going to look better.
And who wouldn't want, more clearer, younger skin?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it also helps with maintaining a healthy body weight.
Oh, okay.
Now, I've had a lot of clients who've started their routine with lemon water first thing in the morning, and they've actually been able to reduce the number of coffees they need during the day. So for some of us who maybe indulge in a
I think it's amazing. And too, if you can reduce that caffeine intake just with a simple lemon. I know the lemon itself, it looks very small, but I think it's probably one of those mighty and powerful, things, especially if you can have clearer skin, lose weight, boost your immune system, detox your liver, and help your digestion.
Absolutely.
Those are all incredible things.
Exactly. And we might think of a lemon as being acidic for our bodies, but the way that a lemon is acidic, it is high on the pH scale, but in our bodies it acts as an alkaline. So it's really good for alkalizing our system, and just it's got so many health benefits. So on an empty stomach with a stainless steel straw, I recommend, because of the acid in the lemon, it is hard on your tooth enamel.
Your teeth.
So if you can drink your lemon water with stainless steel, I like reusable or glass straw, or any straw will do. That's what I recommend for starting with day one of the healthy, the Daily Habits Challenge.
Okay, so now we've done day one. We've got all our top 5 tips. So now we're going to go to day 2. So what's our challenge for day 2?
Yes, so day 2 of the Healthy Challenge, the Optimal Health Challenge, is matcha green tea. Now, matcha green tea, let me show you, Brad.
Okay, sure.
It is a powdered green tea. So this is a green tea leaf, and it has been pulverized into a powder. Now, unlike typical teas that need to be steeped in water and infused in water, green tea actually dissolves in the water.
Oh, perfect.
And the benefit of matcha green tea is that you actually ingest the tea leaves rather than steeping them.
I see.
And green tea is high in antioxidants, super high in antioxidants, which kills free radicals in the body. It will help increase your energy because of the caffeine.
Yeah, everybody needs more energy.
There's a little bit of caffeine in there, and it's also been shown in studies to help with weight loss.
Oh, perfect.
So you want to get a matcha green tea, a Japanese one. And because it is a powder, I recommend using a matcha bamboo whisk. It really helps to get the clumps out of the matcha tea. And I've used other whisks, like stainless steel ones. They just don't work the same. So these you can pick up at any health food store. So the matcha green tea as well as the bamboo whisk.
Yeah, because I know I haven't seen one of those before. Like that's something new, and probably a lot of people don't know that if you have the green matcha, that, you know, it's best to use a matcha, you know, whisk with
yes,
it.
it does.
Sort of thing.
I've tried it with the other whisk. I've tried just stirring it with a spoon. It really doesn't work the same way because it needs to dissolve in the water. So that is day 2 of the daily habits for healthy living. Yeah. And so day 3 is going to sound tough.
Okay.
Okay, but
I'm
it's
ready.
not.
I'm ready. So number 3.
So I'm going to ask people to set a bedtime alarm.
Okay.
We're so used to having an alarm to wake up in the morning. How about setting a bedtime alarm 30 minutes before you want to go to bed?
I see.
And what this is going to do is it's going to signal to your brain that it's time to start winding down. It's time to turn off the TV, turn off the electronics. It's time to start the routines of bedtime. So whether it's a bath or maybe an herbal tea or you're getting your pajamas on, you're drawing a bath, you're reading a book. It's just that signal to your body that it's time to slow down and get ready for bed.
Of course, and I guess a lot of people too, it creates a new habit where a lot of us, you know, we can't get to sleep because we just rush to bed. We don't have any kind of I don't want to say ceremony, but any kind of ritual where you have all this mental chatter, you're thinking about everything that happened all day, you have, you know, stuff going on, especially if you have a family and you know yourself, with a family and everything else, getting the kids to bed, plus having your own time to get yourself to bed. But that's perfect, you know what I mean? You know, read a book, turn off the TV, you know, whatever it might be, just that routine. So when you're in your bedroom, that's where you rest and that's where you relax.
Exactly. We do it with our children. Our babies have bedtime routines, don't they, right? Book, bath, and bed. Why don't we do that for ourselves?
Exactly.
It's because sleep is so important. So that is another healthy habit to develop in with the healthy challenge. So speaking of alarms, the next challenge that I would encourage our viewers to engage in is to wake up 30 minutes early. Okay. And I'm going to say wake up and be awesome.
So do you mean wake up and spring out of bed, or just kind of wake up and
yeah, so I encourage
gradually get up? So now we've already set our alarm 30 minutes earlier the night before.
Exactly.
So now we're going to get up 30 minutes earlier the next morning.
Exactly. And you know what? I would encourage people to take those 30 minutes for whatever reason you want. Whether it's to lie in bed and just reflect on what your day is going to be like. Maybe practice some gratitude, exercise or stretch, enjoy a cup of tea or coffee by yourself, maybe read something.
Yeah, do some yoga, whatever it might be. Just even make a new plan or a new wake-up ritual and things like that to say, here, this is what's going to get me revved, what's going to get me going, you know, for the day sort of thing.
Exactly, rather than being rushed first thing in the morning. Set your alarm 30 minutes early and wake up half an hour earlier just to have your day start off a little calmer.
Perfect. So I see now we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I want to do, just for audience, Christine, can we just recap quickly, just day 1 to 4 again before we go on to day 5?
Absolutely. So day 1 is start your day with lemon water.
That's right. So you got your lemon.
Yep.
Yep. So we're going to squeeze half a lemon, right?
Yep.
So we'll do half a lemon
into your water. The second daily habit that I'd like you to do every day is to have a cup of matcha green tea.
Okay, sure.
It's a great pick-me-up in the afternoon, gives you a little energy boost.
Yes.
So that would be the second daily habit.
And then day 3?
Daily habit number 3 is to set a bedtime alarm. So remind yourself
30 minutes,
to go to bed.
So 30 minutes, I'm going to set it earlier. So if my normal bedtime is 10, I'm going to set my for 9:30,
exactly.
correct?
Yep.
Okay.
And the fourth daily habit is to wake up 30 minutes early.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've got a little catch for you now. I'm going to encourage you to wake up and work out. So you've got an extra half hour. Now, you know, you can grab your running shoes and go for a run. You could do something simple like just stretching or yoga or balancing. You could. Some people might choose to go to the gym. You know, I just really encourage people to wake up and work out, because in those 30 minutes, you're going to get yourself just feeling great for the day ahead.
Exactly, and I think what it is, getting moving, you know, like getting yourself moving forward, getting the blood flowing, getting the, you know, and then so it's perfect,
Exactly.
Okay.
So another daily healthy habit that I encourage my clients is to make a meal plan.
Perfect.
And so you might not do that every day, but you might do it once a week, where you make a meal plan and scheduling what you're going to be eating for, especially for busy weeknight dinners, really helps really helps you plan and make those busy weeknights a little quicker and a little calmer.
Yes.
So that's another healthy habit for optimal living that I really encourage people to embrace. And on my website, actually, when people subscribe to opt in to my newsletter, I will send you a free meal planning template.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I like to plan my meals around a theme.
Okay.
So, meatless Mondays, Taco Tuesdays, Water Wednesday, which would mean like having fish or seafood.
Okay, so anything that comes from the water or
exactly.
living in water.
Yeah. Thursday, you could do a crock pot on Thursday or a barbecue on Thursday.
Yeah, I think the kids are going to love Friday.
Yes.
Pizza Day Friday.
Pizza Day Friday. It could be a cauliflower crust pizza.
Yeah.
It could be a homemade pizza that you do with your family. Maybe you order in after a long week too. But meal planning, it's a great way it's a great habit to incorporate.
Okay, so I see on Saturday it says surprise on here.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Surprise Saturday.
Well, Surprise Saturday in my house sometimes looks like leftovers.
Okay.
Okay.
Surprise!
Yeah, surprise, we're having leftovers. We're having what we had yesterday.
That's right.
It also might mean, you've got a family gathering or a celebration. Weekends tend to be a little busier for people.
When more people are doing stuff,
So give yourself that flexibility and schedule in being flexible.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Schedule in a surprise. And on Sundays, I often like to make a roast and have the whole family together for
So Sundays for you, is that your more relaxed day out of the entire week sort of thing?
Exactly, yeah. Okay. You want to have, I like to have something that maybe takes a little longer to prepare. And Sundays is often the day that I schedule and do my meal planning.
Oh, for the rest of the week.
For the week ahead.
So do you always do a week ahead, or do you ever do a meal plan for the month ahead?
You know what? For a lot of my clients, I meal plan for them for a month.
Okay.
But for my own family, I'll just plan about a week.
Oh, perfect.
And I just do weeknight dinners.
And I guess that's easier. And I guess that's easier for people too. So at least the evening meals are fine, because I guess a lot of times, a lot of people have different schedules. They leave for work, school at different times. And then, as I say, with an upcoming segment, which we're going to do, like with kids' lunches, a lot of times getting kids' lunches ready and things like that. So for breakfast, a lot of people don't eat together. For lunches, a lot of people don't eat together. But dinner time is the time where the family will sit around the table. They'll talk about their day. They'll connect. They'll bond. They'll grow. And that's where you kind of see stuff happening.
And the weeknights are busy. We're getting home from work. Kids have activities.
Yes.
And there's homework and there's other obligations. So meal planning, especially for busy days during the week, is my 6th daily habit that I recommend. And finally,
Day 7, end of the week.
That's right. And so my healthy challenge for our viewers is to cook from scratch.
Okay. Yes.
And of course that lends into what I do, which is, as a culinary nutrition expert, I encourage my clients to cook from scratch, to use whole foods in their cooking, to live simply, and to use simple ingredients to make wonderful family meals.
Yes.
Because the more processed food we cut out of our lives, the healthier it is.
Yes.
It's also budget friendly. And so I really encourage people to cook from scratch and to learn how to cook from scratch. So again, if people want to sign up for the 7 Daily Habits of Healthy Living Challenge, they can just go to my website, which is www.mealsthatmatter.ca, and there is a pop-up there, and you can just opt in, and you will be added to the email campaign, where every day for 7 days, you'll get a little message reviewing each of these 7 habits and encouraging you to make these simple, small changes to increase your overall health and your optimal healthy lifestyle.
Perfect, perfect. So with the cooking from scratch, does that mean even just trying something new or taking your regular recipe and maybe switching it out to a healthier?
Sure.
Choices and stuff like that?
Exactly. And it's less about going to the drive-thru and going out for dinner, and try making things from home.
Yeah.
Try making burgers at home, or like we did in a previous episode, make those energy bites from scratch. Rather than relying so heavily on processed foods and packaged foods, I really encourage people to cook from scratch as much as possible.
Of course, and there's so much variety, and there's so much flavor, and there's so much stuff. So now we're coming to the end of the segment here. Just a quick, just a recap again. So
Absolutely.
7-day challenge, day 1 through 7. We can just pop it, very quickly. So number 1 I can do. So number 1, grab yourself a lemon.
Yeah, lemon water upon waking.
Yeah, and you want to squeeze it. And number 2, we have the
make a matcha green tea. Great little afternoon pick-me-up and boost in the afternoon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And number 3?
Number 3 is to set a bedtime alarm. So cue your body to start heading to bed a half an hour earlier. Number 4.
Waking up early.
That's right. Wake up 30 minutes early and enjoy a little time to yourself.
Perfect.
The next one is wake up and work out. So get your body moving for half an hour. I got my sneakers
there
here.
We go.
Yeah, wake up and work out. You've got the extra half an hour anyway.
You do, so why not make use of it?
Absolutely. The next one is meal planning. Schedule a meal plan.
So would you change this? So if, say, you're a vegetarian household or a vegan household, you can switch some of these out for something else. If you like, a pasta day or something like that, you could definitely
I grew up pasta Mondays. And finally, cook from scratch.
Yeah. That's amazing. So day 1 through 7, I hope everyone enjoys this challenge, that you're going to take it, from the lemon to the matcha to the exercise, set your clocks half an hour ahead, and then you'll put your clock, wake up half an hour early, and then, get a meal plan, and then cook something from scratch. So I hope you enjoyed our time with Christine, because I know I have. So you're going to stay for the next segment. So right after the break, Christine's going to be back, and she's going to show you how to make and pack your kids' lunches. So we'll see you after the break. Hey, and welcome back to the Wellness of Being. I'm your host, Brad Poirier, here with Christine Peacock, who we had in the last episode, who did the 7-day challenge. So now we have Christine back, and she's going to discuss, if you have families at home or you're on the run and you need to pack some super power lunch boxes. So we're going to get right into that today, and we're going to start right away. So welcome back, Christine. And I see you have an array here. So let's get started. So show us a little bit of information of what you have prepared for us today.
Perfect. So, Brad, I'm a culinary nutrition expert, but in my previous career, I was an elementary school teacher.
Perfect.
So I was a teacher in the classroom for over 10 years, and now I'm a mom of 3 little girls, all in school. And so I have seen the vast array of school lunch boxes, from really awful lunch boxes to really good ones as well. And I can sympathize with parents what it's like to be making lunch boxes every night or every morning before school starts. And we want to make sure that our kids are eating healthy foods that are going to fuel them for their day at school, because of course they need proper nutrition for their little minds and their bodies to work well. And so I have my experience from being a teacher and seeing how children eat, what their parents pack for them, and also importantly what they don't eat, what goes in the garbage, right? So I want to help parents, help everybody navigate how to make healthy lunch boxes. So the first thing to start off with is getting a variety of different containers for healthy lunches. So your child in August or September, they're going to pick out the lunch box that they want with superheroes or princesses on them. And then you need to get containers that will hold the food for your children. You'll want to make sure that teachers always like it when your child's lunch boxes and things are labeled. So you can get labels even from Walmart that you just write the kids' names on, write their last names, and they're dishwasher safe, which is great. So I've got this little portion control container. It's just one of the many examples of containers that are on the market. And what I love about this container is it's got a big portion. something smaller, and 2 little snacky containers, which kids always love anything that's a little bit special.
Yes.
So these are also called bento boxes.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so the kids love these, and you can get them in a variety of different colors as well. So this is a fun way to get kids to figure out where to put their snacks and their lunches.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing you want to make sure is that your child, especially the young ones, are able to open and close this by themselves.
Okay, yes.
Because of course a teacher has 30 students in her class, his or her classroom. They don't have time to open every child's lunchbox. So moms and dads at home, when you're getting your kids' lunches ready, make sure they can open and close the lunch boxes all by themselves.
Yes.
Another tip that I would share to parents is to even number the order of the way in which you want your child to eat their lunches. And so talk to them about that and practice that as well.
Because one thing I would like our audience to know, if you kind of look, I know you probably can't see it here, but with this it has 1 cup, 2 cup, and then a half a cup and a half a cup. So it makes it a lot easier for portioning, and then you know and say, okay, you'll have this much of, maybe this much fruit, this much this much veg, this much, whatever your kid needs or whatever their dietary, things are that they need.
Absolutely.
And with the lid, it just snaps.
Yep.
Basically just snaps right on.
Just snaps on.
Right? So
Yep.
it's easy, so any kid can do that, and especially with their names right there, it's easy to find. They know it's theirs. Another, kid can't come along and say, hey, that's mine. Plus with this one, I mean, any of them, but it has a little handle as well.
Exactly.
Which makes it easier for them to take along. Everything is right in there. And just say you could use those numbers or make it kind of fun, which compartment you start with
where
first and things
is.
like that.
So this would be for cold lunches.
Yeah.
For hot lunches, you want to make sure that you get your child a thermos. And
okay.
again, you want to make sure they can open and close it themselves. And in the thermos, you can put some hot food in here. So it could be maybe some leftover taco meat that you've warmed up. It could be soup. It could be a chili or spaghetti that's warmed up in here. And the way to keep this warm throughout the day is to fill it with boiling water first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Then dump that hot water, then put the hot food in
So it
and
allows
close
this
it right away.
to
And it'll
stay heated.
It will. It'll stay heated. Yeah. So that's another little tidbit, is to have a thermos in your cupboard as well for those hot meals. I also like to have a variety of different smaller containers with different compartments for snacks. So here's a great little one as well. It's got 2 spots here, Brad. I'll get you to hold that because it's nice for the kids to have different compartments to put their snacks in.
And I think they really like, and it makes it fun too.
It's fun for them. So here is a kiwi. I just cut it in half.
Yes.
Give the kids a spoon, and they can just eat the kiwi fruit right out of there. On the other side, we can put in some of those energy bites that we made a couple of weeks ago,
Yes.
and that would be a great snack for your child.
Or the same, you could even add some of the apple that you have, and there's your fruit compartment, and then you could have different ones for different things. And this is a great sizing too, especially on the age of your child. Well, even for adults, because I think even for adults, even portion control is really important as far as like having nuts and seeds and things like that you don't overindulge, that if you only need maybe 12 almonds, then you have your little handful of almonds,
right there.
and that's all you need for your energy of 3:30 in the afternoon sort of thing as well.
Exactly. And so you want to have a variety of different size containers. I've got another just smaller one. You could put cucumbers in there, crackers in there, just another little snack for your child.
Because I also notice on these too, they tend to have the little lock.
The locks on there as well.
It, so then that way it keeps everything secure. That's easy for the child to pop off.
Exactly.
They can just take it, pop the lid, and then just take it and then just snap, everything closed.
Exactly,
and,
and
so
their names are all over that stuff again as well. I also like to have teeny tiny containers, and I think this was a baby food container.
Oh, okay.
But again, you want to repurpose any kind of container that you can find, whether it's little dollar store gem containers. I've used those for packing my children's lunches as well. So for adults, you could put your salad dressing in there. You could put maybe some mustard or ketchup in there for your child to dip, or a hummus in there, or a veggie dip. So having a variety of small containers containers as well for your child for all their dipping sauces. And
I think it's even perfect too. You could even add maybe even some sunflower seeds or something like that in there.
Exactly.
If they're able to eat them.
That's right. And a note for schools, of course, is that schools do have to be nut-free and nut-safe.
Right.
So seeds are a great option for a healthy fat for children.
Yes.
So sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds are great alternatives to put in your child's lunch boxes. One other thing that I like to include as a healthy fat in my kids' lunches is olives.
Oh, perfect.
My kids really like olives, so put a couple little olives in a little tiny container like that, and it's a lot of fun for the kids. It gets them that healthy fat, and healthy fat is essential for brain development.
Oh, of course.
Our children need to have enough fat in their diets to allow their brains to work. Now, another couple tips that I'd like to offer parents is, as both a teacher and as a mother and a nutritionist, I encourage people to put in their child's lunches the minimum that your child needs.
I see.
And let me tell you why, Brad, because I've seen lunch boxes at schools when I was a teacher where parents have put in a plentiful, like these kids' lunches are overflowing. More than enough.
And their daily calories are all in one lunchbox.
But they're not going to eat it all. And the reason, I understand why parents do that. They put in too much in their children's lunches in the hopes that the children are going to eat some.
Yes.
But if your child has a sandwich or a bag of goldfish crackers or cookies or a granola bar, what are the kids going to eat?
Exactly.
They're going to choose the junk food or the treat.
Yes.
So when I'm packing my own children's lunches, I maybe give them one treat, and I tell them, you can eat that treat after you've eaten everything else. So I really encourage parents to put the bare minimum that your child needs, because people will complain, my child comes home with all their carrots every day. They never eat their carrots. Well, mom and dad, they're not eating their carrots because they've got so many other things to eat. Children are not going to starve themselves.
Of course not.
And if you put the carrots in and there's no granola bar, guess what?
Yeah, they're going to eat
the carrots, right?
Of course. Yep.
Another little trick that I encourage parents is if there is carrots or cucumbers or something left over, because children have run out of time or they're chatting at school or they got full.
Yes. Yes.
When my kids get home from school, the first thing I ask them to do is to get their lunch boxes.
Oh, okay.
So they're hungry after school.
Yes.
Guess what their afternoon snack is?
All right.
It's whatever they didn't finish at school.
Exactly.
And so that's a great way, again, of getting your kids to eat exactly what you put in their lunch boxes. They're not going overboard on the junk food and the snack food.
No.
They're eating the good nutrition that you're providing for them. So that's another trick that I encourage parents to use is eat what you can at school.
Yes.
Whatever you don't finish does not go in the garbage.
No.
Because that's a waste of food.
No.
Bring your unfinished food home. That way mommy or daddy can see what you've eaten.
That's right.
And after school, you eat whatever is left over. That's what you have for your afternoon snack. And if you're still hungry, then when they come home, they can have, some of those unsafe school snacks like nuts or eggs.
But it's also a great way for the parents to kind of keep tabs on where your kid is in the nutritional. Are they eating the stuff you're sending? Are they leaving a lots left over? Or my kid is eating everything?
Exactly. And schools try really hard now to discourage children from sharing food.
Yes.
Because there is so many allergies and so many dietary restrictions that kids are really encouraged to only eat what their mommies or daddies or grandmas or grandpas have packed.
Of course.
So that would be my other little tip. Tip number one is to pack the bare minimum. I know it sounds cruel, but pack the minimum
because they're still getting their calorie intake that they need.
Exactly. And then food is not going to waste, and they're eating the food that's best for them.
Yes.
Yeah. So some ideas for healthy lunch ideas is a lot of kids love having soup for lunches, sending leftovers, sandwiches, hot dogs, maybe leftover chicken or chicken fingers. With school the next day.
Yes.
The problem I have with my kids, of course, I'm a culinary nutrition expert, but of course I have kids who don't like sandwiches.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So I've got a fun little trick that I think some of your viewers of young children will really enjoy trying with their homes. I remember I first saw this when I was a very young teacher.
Oh, okay, yes.
And one of my students came to school with this little lunch, and the next day the whole class had this
everybody
in
had
their
one because they
lunchboxes
saw that this
for the
person
next
had
day.
one?
That's right.
That's awesome.
So this this is what I call a sandwich kebab.
Okay, sandwich kebab. Sounds exciting.
So I've got a special little helper with us today,
perfect.
Brad. So I'm going to ask my little helper to come and join us.
Here, welcome to the show.
Yes, this is my daughter. She's 8 years old.
Perfect.
And another great way to get kids to eat what you pack for them is to get them to help you make their lunch boxes and pack their lunch
have
boxes.
The kid involved.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the best way.
They're more likely to eat it. So with a sandwich kebab, you are going to need some small skewers, wooden skewers. You could also use toothpicks.
Okay,
They're just going to be smaller, and so your child is going to need more of them. Then what you're going to need is a variety of different foods that your children would like to stack on their kebab.
Yep.
So since it's a sandwich kebab, I've got some sprouted whole grain bread here.
Yep.
So being the mom or the dad will cut the bread with the knife, and you just want to cut these into cubes so that the child can stack them on their sandwich kebab.
And I'm sure if you have like a child that has a gluten intolerance, you could always switch out a cucumber or something like that in lieu of the bread itself.
Exactly, and you want to get the ingredients that your children like, right? So you've got the bread. So I'm going to ask my helper to start putting these on the skewer. So we've got bread for our sandwich kebab. We've got some just leftover chicken from the previous day. I cut that up into cubes for her. She's going to add that. And my kids love little grape tomatoes. Like you said, you could also put cucumber on there. You could put olives on there. You could put cubes of cheese on there. My kids won't eat cheese, but lots of kids do enjoy cheese. You could put pickles on there.
Yeah, anything that's fun for them, that's colorful. And I think that's a great way, too, of using a lot of different vegetables that maybe they haven't tried, but now you make it fun because you're layering it all on.
Exactly.
Right? And that sort of thing. And because, too, when they're eating it, I mean, they can eat it all together, or they can just, do one bite at a time, or obviously you're not going to take the skewer whole, but it's kind of good just to kind of get it on there. I mean, it looks wonderful. It's very colorful. I can see you have your protein, you have your, well, some people think like tomatoes a fruit, but you could probably even add a pineapple or add something else if you want to add a little, and do a fruit kebab.
You could absolutely do a fruit kebab.
And then they have a sandwich kebab, and then the fruit kebab.
Exactly. And when you have a nice compartmentalized lunch box, if you can open that for us, Brad, then it's very easy
slides right in.
To slide their little sandwich kebab right in there. You could also, if your kids like mustard or ketchup, or maybe even some hummus or avocado, guacamole, you could put that in their little container. And
it pops right in.
Pop right in there. They can spread it on there. Oh, our little helper has another kebab. This. I've got 3 kids, so I've got a whole I've got a whole factory going on.
But again, this is perfect because here's your lunch. Maybe here's your dip for it. Here's your dessert, and then maybe here's like a seed or something like that, or a yogurt, or a some apple slices like you're doing now. It could be anything in there that they like. Maybe some raisins or something like that, or
so I like to fill so here's some apple slices. I like to fill each of the parts of the containers for my children, whether it's a container like this. Oh, we got another one. Or another container like this one.
Perfect.
And fill them up with all their good food. A kebab like this is going to be a lot of fun. I love the idea of a fruit kebab, a veggie kebab, a sandwich kebab.
Yes.
Really, the options are limitless. Get your children involved in making their snacks and their lunches, because they're less likely to bring those home not eaten.
Yeah, and obviously it's really fast, really easy. I mean, your daughter's amazing. She was a whiz. And basically, once you just slice that bread, it was nothing just to pop the ingredients on, like the bread, the chicken, the tomato, boom, 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 done. Just pop it into the, into your lunchbox, and they're ready to go. And you say, hey, I want to have apples today. I want to have hummus today. I want to have, whatever that may go with it, or even some crackers or something like that. And a couple of carrots or something. And there's a complete power pack lunch that has all the the arrangements, and if they want to bring a little, soup with that, and probably either they could have a warm soup or a cold soup, even to
and
make
change it
fun.
up every day.
Yeah, and then you just kind of pop the lid on, and then you're good to go. Leave that open so the viewers can still see it. But yeah, very, very fast. And to me, that was the most painless lunch making I've ever seen.
Yeah, it sure was. It sure
so
was.
the kids are that fast making the kebabs as they are as getting out the door. You know what I mean? It's certainly incredible. So I mean, so basically we just need a range of containers. You know what I mean? Put their name on them.
Yes.
Have them all set. Pick the fruits and vegetables that they like. Make sure they have a complete one when they get home. Check their lunchbox to make sure they are eating, that they're getting everything they need, that they have all the nutrients and stuff. And obviously, with your child, you can put together, if they don't eat bread, if they don't eat meat, you can certainly switch it out for a vegan or vegetarian option. So I really want to thank everybody watching today, and I hope you enjoyed my time with Christine and her lovely daughter here helping us out. So I want to say thank you for watching, and we'll see you again on the next show.